It was the first time we got a chance to see him go live. I think we played pretty well. Had some explosive plays, broke some tackles, had a couple mishaps we got to get cleaned up, but that's what it came in against.
What have you seen from Antoine specifically? It looked like he was getting. I know, there's no depth chart and stuff, but it looked like he was getting some significant reps.
250 pounds.
Yeah.
We got to find out what he can do.
Yeah.
So it was good to see him use his physicality and use what God gave him to break some tackles down there. We got to make sure we secure the ball on the goal line because that shouldn't have been no touchdown. But I'm seeing a lot of positive traits.
Mm-hmm. What about your players? Just from him getting into spring ball now, obviously got some actions at your freshman. Does he look any different to you in the spring football?
He does. Last year we kind of guarded him in some past pro situations, and this year a little bit stronger, a little bit more knowledge in the program, and he's able to handle those situations. We're not taking him out on third down.
So specifically, he's gotten better.
He's gotten better.
We got some guys now who just look very different.
Yes.
Do you want them all to run the same? How do they?
Oh no.
Yeah.
The running back position is more art than science. So what I want to do is I'll make the best running back that they are. I don't want anyone to look the same. I don't want anyone to try to be anybody else. I want Antoine to be 250. I want Tyree to use his shiftiness. I want Joe Quez to hide and burst out. And I want EJ to be the best all-around back he can be. So it's about making them better at what they bring to the table.
And then is it like Coach Langsdorff's job to scheme around those different skill sets?
We'll have jobs for guys later once we feel what they can do the best. But right now we're trying to give it everything. So we're not spoon feeding these guys. We're trying to give them the whole playbook because I want to find out how many every down backs I got, and then from there all right, this guy does this best. This guy does this the best, and we'll manipulate those guys for reps once we get into the season.
Some new offensive linemen in the mix too. What have you seen from that group? The guys that walk?
Cohesiveness, understanding more the older guys getting them into the program, and the younger guys taking hold of what we're getting coached, and they're moving people. I mean, we're staying on guys, we're sustaining blocks, and we're moving guys, which has been good, and helps our guys, and we're getting out of bad habits that we've had before, just from the simple fact that getting a little movement.
Is Kyle Williams still kind of like is he in the mix at all? It looks like he's not getting reps.
He's a little bit behind the other guys. There's some things that we got to fix with Kyle and get straight, but he's definitely not out of it.
Mm-hmm.
These guys pretty attuned to. Look like they were going north-south.
Yes.
The new guys. These aren't dancing guys.
No, as you can see, we got one kid that's 250, got another kid that's 220. EJ put on another 6 pounds of muscle. They're a solid group, and they get downhill. What I don't want out of the group is have a lot of wasted movement. We had a couple of runs today where their eyes are playing tricks on them, and we're hesitating in the backfield. I don't want to see that. I want to see guys getting downhill and getting positive yards. You can run 53 yards side to side and not gain one. You take one step upfield, you got one positive yard, and that's what we've been preaching to those guys. Get downhill.
What stands out from Tyree?
Tyree is very, very shifty and quick, and he has a low center of gravity. He's a solid back, so guys bounce off of him. He accelerates very well, kind of like his cousin. When his cousin was here, Tim was very shifty. He was a low cut guy who bounced off of guys. He's a lot like Tim in those aspects, and now we got to get him to understand the scheme so he can play fast and play faster. He might not be a home run hitter speed-wise on top end-wise, but he's going to get a lot of triples, a lot of 40-yard runs just by being shifty and quick and dynamic. He's been in the secondary almost every practice so far.
The low center of gravity with him helped him break tackles. I think when he signed, that was one of the things I think Stan talked about. He was good on contact, not going down after the first hit.
He has great contact balance. He's very, very quick and explosive in short areas. He gets into the secondary before they realize he's even there. And I think that's, God gave him built-in leverage with his height, so he's able to sustain his legs and keep moving.
What is it like recruiting the portal now as opposed to the first time you were here, it was developing a lot of high school guys, building them up, and then you got to hit the portal and things are moving so quickly.
Yes.
What's the process like?
The process is everyday recruiting. You're almost in a 1-year free agency world. It's almost like every running back is on a franchise tag in the NFL, and they got 1 year to prove it, and then it might be a new group the next year. So my job is just to make them the best they can be. I mean, if you're a college running back, you have the ability to make positive yards. My job is to make sure they're polished and they're not wasting time. They understand the schemes, and they can shine at what they're good at.
Last year, it seemed like, just looking from the outside, E.J. Wilson was kind of the number 4. He doesn't look like, right now it looks like he's one of
He's
4.
different. They're fighting. I mean, they're competing. And what happens is when you bring new guys into the room, the older guys have an advantage because they know what we're doing. And this breeds new life. But now it's competition. They see that we brought in some pretty good running backs. And everyone's stepping the game up. You see Joe, he's stepping his pass protection up, stepped up in the weight room. You see EJ being more explosive, being in the mix, understanding the entire offense and not just relying on his athleticism. He's understanding football. And it raises the whole room. It raises the whole room just by the knowledge and the competitiveness we have.
What is it about EJ that makes him, I know it's not your room when it comes to special teams and the return game, where is he good there? What makes him good there?
His vision and explosiveness. His skill set, for the last 2 years, he's probably the best natural athlete that I have. He can do everything. He can run, he can jump, he can catch. Now we got to make sure we hone it in the right direction so we can use it.
With Littleton, do you have the feel for, like, what should his weight be in the fall? What is it now? Where do you work?
I'm kind of evaluating it. What I don't want, I was a big back myself. And when you get around coaches who don't understand the body of a big back, they always have a number that's set for a kid. And it's not necessarily a number. It's what his body's going to perform optimally at. If he's 240 and still can run 15 plays in a row and have the explosiveness, why make him 230? You know? I mean, Jerome Bennett's played at 265. He was an every down back. They didn't want him at 230. So I don't have a number in my head. I don't want him fat. So what I got to do is I want him to target a number right now, get at that number, and let's see if he can sustain it. If he's not able to sustain, then we'll cut a little bit of weight off to make him play optimally. So it's going to be more of a learning curve for me, not for the kid. I want the kid to go out, play. And what I got to do is make sure that he's able to sustain drives, he's able to sustain his power, because I don't want to emaciate him. I don't want him to go out there and get too small. Now he's lost everything that made him special. So I want him to be heavy. I want the linebackers on our team saying, hey, this is a load hitting him. I feel it every time I hit him. Now, if he can do that and play 15 plays in a row, then that's the weight I want him at. So I'm not going to have a number in my head of get under this number. It might not be fair to him.
You were in the area. You probably saw him in high school. You were aware of him?
I saw him a little bit in high school. Being in the DMV area, you kind of know the running backs out of that area that are making a name for themselves. And when I saw him the first time, I was like, he looks like a guard. How big he looked in high school. He did a great job with his weight when he was at Maryland. And I just want to make sure he can perform at the best weight he possibly can.
When you get to know these guys in the room, get comfortable with them, do they ever start asking about your career and what you did at UVA?
A little bit. I bring it up sometimes because I don't want them to think I'm the worst running back in the room. So I tell them a lot. But they give you some props every now and again. And I talk about the 1900s all the time. It makes the guys feel like it's a long ways away. So you get back in the 1900s, they used to be pretty good.
Awesome.
You guys got anything?
No,
None?
that's it all.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.